Hello ladies and gentlemen, ZPro here bringing you another Minecraft World War II battleship build tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building USS Iowa BB-61, lead ship of the Iowa class of battleships. The USS Iowa is a retired battleship, the lead ship of her class, and the fourth United States Navy to be named after the state of Iowa. Owing to the cancellation of the Montana-class battleships, Iowa is the last lead ship of any class of United States battleships and was the only ship of her class to serve in the Atlantic Ocean during World War II. During World War II, she carried President Franklin D. Roosevelt across the Atlantic to Mers el-Kebir, Algeria, en route to a conference of vital importance in 1943, in turn with Prime Minister Winston Churchill of the United Kingdom and Joseph Stalin, leader of the Soviet Union. When transferred to the Pacific Fleet in 1944, Iowa shelled beachheads at Cayde and Inotok in advance of Allied amphibious landings and screened aircraft carriers operating in the Marshall Islands. She served as the 3rd Fleet flagship, flying Admiral William F. Halsey's flag at the Japanese surrender in Tokyo Bay. During the Korean War, Iowa was involved in the raids on the North Korean coast, after which she was decommissioned into the United States Navy Reserve Fleets, better known as the Mothball Fleet. She was reactivated in 1984 as part of the 600-ship Navy plan and operated in both the Atlantic and Pacific fleets to counter the recently expanded Soviet Navy. In April 1989, an explosion of undetermined origin wrecked its No. 2 gun turret, killing 47 sailors. Iowa was decommissioned for the last time in October 1990 after 19 total years of active service and was initially stricken from the Naval Vessel Register in 1995, before being reinstated from 1999 to 2006 to comply with federal laws that required retention and maintenance of 2 Iowa-class battleships. In 2011, Iowa was donated to the Los Angeles-based nonprofit Pacific Battleship Center and was permanently moved to berth 87 at the Port of Los Angeles in 2012, where she was open to the public as the USS Iowa Museum. So yeah, the USS Iowa, probably, I would say, the most famous battleship really for the United States. I would say probably close in competition with the Arizona, but the Iowa here just has a special place in just history, and a lot of basically fans of the history of World War II and all that stuff's heart as being just a absolute beast of a battleship and absolutely a gorgeous ship. The fact that this ship went in and served in modern conflicts and actually was part of modern conflicts, modernized to carry anti-ship missiles and also helicopters and stuff like that, really shows the lifespan of the ship and how it went from serving in World War II through the Korean War and even into modern conflicts. Really is a testament of this ship. But yeah, really fun to come back and revisit this ship as a nice redesign. We had an old design for the ship a long time ago, and I definitely wanted to come back and revisit it, and happy to finally sit down and start to dig into revisiting the ship and actually redesigning it, or putting a redesign tutorial out for you guys, as a lot of you have asked for quite some time. The old Iowa design was one of the oldest bathtub builds on the channel, I think one of my first ones, so this is definitely a huge improvement tutorial, especially since we redid Bismarck and Iowa. I think those are like the big 3 famous battleships, and nice to have all 3 kind of updated to my current standards of building. Yeah, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this build and have fun with it and all that fun stuff, but let's go ahead and move into taking a look at the ship. Now, the ship we have in front of us here is in the World War II, like 1945 configuration. Hopefully in the future I will do a modernized version, but I think the World War II one looks the best in my opinion. I mean, not all the anti-aircraft guns, all that fun stuff, and kind of what I think looks really cool, so I decided to go ahead and definitely focus on doing this one first, and we'll see about doing a modification tutorial sometime in the future to go ahead and convert it into the more modern one, and the one that's currently a museum. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. Start off with the long bow of the ship here, nothing too fancy, some anti-aircraft guns, a lot of the anchorage mechanisms and all that fun stuff located up there. We then come back here, we have turrets 1 and 2 mounted in these positions here, again some anti-aircraft guns located around the section. We get to the conning tower, again surrounded by anti-aircraft protection, spotlights, lifeboats, all that fun stuff really. Start to get into some of the secondary batteries, which if I remember correctly were 5-inch, basically dual 5-inch guns are mounted in these turrets here, and a total of I believe 5 of those on both sides. But yeah, pretty good secondary arm or complement. We then have the main tower right here. All the different communication equipment, radar, all that fun stuff on there. Come back, we have our first funnel there, and just various detail here all around this section. Lots of anti-aircraft guns, all mounted along the sides here. You got your Orc and 20 mils. Big sections here located about midship. And continue back, we just have more of our, anti-aircraft guns and secondary batteries and all that stuff. And as we approach the rear of the ship here, we have our last turret, turret number 3. And with that, we have the rear here where we have our seaplane launchers and crane and stuff like that. But for the most part, that right there is pretty much the USS Iowa and its World War II 1945 configuration. Should be a pretty fun build. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layer here, we're going ahead and start with layer 1. Now, before we go ahead and get started, the first thing I want to go ahead and mention is that if you're completely new to my BAFTA build tutorials, the way we're going to structure probably about the first 4 layers of this tutorial, we're going to be doing half on camera, half off. What this means is that we have, we're going to build the center line of the ship and then the entire right side, and then as you can see we have the left side built, so it'll be up to you guys to take the right side, copy it over to the left side. The ship is completely symmetrical from my knowledge, unless there's something that might come up later on in the tutorial, but whatever we do on one side will be done to the other. We're going to do this for the first 4 layers about doing the entire hull, and then once we get into the superstructure where there's a lot more detail and a lot more going on, we'll do each layer all together, both sides. But just kind of helps speed up the process, and since the whole portion is pretty easy, good way to kind of go ahead and breeze through it. Now, if you do want to build this in the water, which I imagine a lot of you guys will want to do, you do want to make sure that this is a block underneath the water surface. As you can see here, this row 3 of blue concrete basically represent the water surface, and underneath this we have basically our first row here. Very important to make sure that you position that correctly. If you do not, you will have your ship sitting improperly in the water, so definitely make sure that that is good to go. Anyways, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a long row of red concrete. This row right here in total is going to be 47 blocks long, and that's going to form basically the center line of the bottom of the ship here. And on the end of that row of 47, whichever direction you want the rear facing, so we have the rear facing that way, we're going to place down 2 brick top slabs like so. And that right there is going to make up your center line. With that done, moving to the sides here, we're going to place down 2 acacia wood trapdoors on the sides of the second and third red concrete blocks from the front. We're going to go and skip a space, place down a row of 1, 2, 3 red stained glass panes, followed by 1, 2, 3 brick walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35 red concrete blocks back after that. We then want to place down a brick upside down stair, followed by a brick a second brick upside down stair, and we're going to then place down 2 brick walls, followed by a birchwood slab, and then 1, 2, 3 brick walls directly after that. We're also going to take an acacia wood sign, and on the side of this brick wall here, we're just going to place down an acacia wood sign like so. After that, we want to go ahead and go to our second from last red concrete block here, and we're going to go and very simply just place down a brick top slab in that location there, followed by a second brick top slab, and then we're going to go and grab our brick stairs and place down 2 brick upside down stairs like that going toward the front. We then want to go ahead and grab our end rods. We're going to place down 1 and 2 end rods back, and then a birchwood slab coming off that end rod like so. We're going to then take our red concrete, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and we're going to go and go 24 red concrete blocks back, forward, followed by 2 brick ups downstairs and a brick top slab. So again, just double check our count here of red concrete, and it should be 24 blocks there in total. After this, we're going to then go to our 4th red concrete block here. We're going to place down a brick top slab. So this is the 4th red concrete block from the front. We're going to then place down a second brick top slab, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 brick upside down stairs going back. And then we're going to then place down 1 and 2 brick top slabs like so. Last thing for this layer is to go ahead and go to the sides, and we're going to go and count 3 stairs in from both sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to count to our 4th stair, place down an acacia wood sign. Same thing up here in the front, 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood sign, and we just want to go then place down acacia wood signs all along the side here, connecting our signs together on the sides here of these stairs, like that. And after we have that all done there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 1 for the build. Taking a look at it from above here, this is what we should have for the top-down view once you have both sides transferred over to each other. But yeah, with that is going to complete layer number 1 for the build, and with that we'll go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 2. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a brick wall on top of this red concrete block, followed by a second wall back, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 red concrete blocks like that. See, just like that. After that, on the back here, we're going to then place down a red concrete block that goes up from this brick top slab at an angle like that, followed by a second red concrete, 2 brick top slabs, and then a acacia wood trapdoor. So that right there is going to form the center line of the ship there. At this point here, we're going to start working our way out to the sides. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 red stained glass panes along the second, third, and fourth red concrete blocks, and then 1, 2, 3 brick walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 red concrete blocks like so. We then want to go to the side here of the second from last 2 red concrete blocks. We'll place down 2 brick walls, and then we're going to go forward 2 red stained glass panes. After those walls, we're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 red concrete blocks, then 2 brick walls to the side of the last 2 concrete blocks, and then 2 red stained glass blocks forward. After that, we're going to go then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 red concrete blocks back. 1, 2, 3, and 4, or sorry, just 3 brick walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 red concrete blocks. On these red concrete blocks here, after the brick walls, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 red stained glass panes there to the side. We then want to place down 1 and 2 brick upside down stairs, followed by a brick top slab like so. And on the inside here of the brick top slab and brick stair on top of those 2 brick walls, we're going to place down 2 red concrete blocks. After that, we're going to then place down 1 additional red concrete block back, followed by a row of 1, 2 brick upside down stairs, and then a brick upside down corner stair like this on the end there. After we have that all done right there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 2 for the build. We're going to take the same thing again on the right side, copy over to the left side, and this is what you should get from a top-down view. One thing you can also do is go ahead and fill the inside of the ship in with red concrete if you do choose to. It's not really necessary, but again, kind of up to you guys. I like my builds to be a little bit thorough, so a little bit more solid, so I like to just fill in the inside here and not have any of those empty spaces. But again, completely up to you guys. Anyways, that right there is going to conclude layer number 2. With that, let's move on to layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to get started with here, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a andesite wall here on the very front of the ship like so. Going back from that, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone walls back just like that. After that's done, going ahead and go into the very back of the ship here, on top of this acacia wood trapdoor, we're going to place down 1 single stone block just like that. And that right there is going to be the center line of the ship. Moving out to the sides, we're going to place down a row of 1 and 2 light gray stained glass panes along the second and third stone blocks from the front, followed by 1, 2, and 3 andesite walls. We're going to go then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone blocks. On the last 2 stone blocks to this side, we're going to place down 2 andesite walls and then 2 light gray stained glass panes forward. We're going to go then take our stone blocks, go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stone blocks. Our last 2 blocks here, 2 andesite walls, and then 1 and 2 light gray stained glass panes going forward. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 stone blocks back, followed by a row of 1, 2, 3 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 light gray stained glass panes. On the inside here, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stone blocks, followed by 1 and 2 andesite walls, 1 and 2 light gray stained glass panes. And on the inside here, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks, and then an andesite wall here in the corner, just like that. And once we have that all done, that right there is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 3. And looking at from above here, this is what we should have from the top-down view. Again, you can go ahead and choose to fill the inside in with stone. Completely up to you guys. Yeah, that right there is going to do it there for layer number 3. With that, though, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we're going ahead and moving into layer number 4. For layer 4 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and place down a stone block on top of this wall here, followed by 1 block forward, and then we're going to go back 1, 2, 3 blocks, so you have a total of 5 there. On this front block here, we're going to go and then place down an iron trapdoor coming off it like so. Going ahead and go into the rear here for our center line, we're going to go and just simply place down a stone block on top of this one here from the previous layer. With that all complete though, going ahead and moving back up to the front, we're going to go to the sides here of this stone block, and we want to go and very simply grab an item frame and also we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a crossbow. We're going to place down an item frame here and a crossbow in the item frame like that, rotate around on its side. After that, we're going to place down 2 light gray stained glass panes back, 2 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stone blocks back, 1, 2 andesite walls, and 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes. After that, we're going to then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks back. We're going to place down 2 andesite walls here on the sides, and then 2 light gray stained glass panes going forward like that. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stone blocks back. Then 1, 2, 3 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 light gray stained glass panes. On the inside here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stone blocks back, 1, 2 andesite walls, and then 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes. On the inside here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks, and then just very simply an andesite wall on top of that one there for the previous layer. After that is all complete there, that is going to pretty much wrap up what we have there for the outline there. So both sides pretty much good to go, everything like that. At this point here, I'd recommend taking the right side, copying it over to the left side so you get the nice outline set up and good to go. At this point of the tutorial, however, we are going to be going ahead and filling the inside in here. So this is something that will need to be filled in, as this is going to be some of the deck space that we will be seeing visible from basically the outside of the finished build. So for this, very simply, I would recommend just going ahead and grabbing yourselves some gray wool and going ahead and just filling the inside in here. So basically, our whole inside is just going to be filled in with this gray wool. And yeah, that's pretty much all you really want to do. Obviously, with World Edit, I can speed it up a little bit and fill this in with gray wool, and boom, just like that, I have that filled in. But basically, you just want to fill that all in, and looking at it from the top-down view, this is what you should have here for basically layer 4 and layer 4 completed. At this point of the tutorial, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer 5, which layer 5 will start to involve building the entire superstructure and all that stuff. We will no longer be doing a half-on, half-off format, and we'll be going ahead and doing each layer, both sides completely together. Just note that this next few layers are going to be the longer layers of the tutorial, as we do have a lot of superstructure and everything to build, especially this next upcoming layer being layer 5. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started, moving into our next layer, layer 5. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our next layer, we have layer 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we'll be going ahead and placing down a stone brick stair on the front iron trap door here, followed by a stone brick slab that goes back from it. We then want to place down skeleton skulls on both sides of the stone brick slab and the stone brick stair. At this point here, we're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves a tripwire hook, and we're going to place down a tripwire hook coming off the back of the stair like so. We then want to go ahead and place down a redstone repeater on the center stone block, flip the notches apart from each other, followed by a stone slab to both sides like that. After that, we're going to then place down a row of 3 of daylight detectors back from those stone slabs, and those daylight detectors are going to all be turned to the night mode like so. We then want to place down a row of 3 of redstone dust down the center. At this point, we then want to go ahead and place down a redstone repeater right here, and we're going to flip the notches apart like so. And we're going to then grab ourselves some iron trapdoors. We're going to place down 1, 2, 1, and 2 iron trapdoors like that to the sides. The very center here, on top of that gray wool block, we're going to place down a stone button like so. And then at this point right here, we're going to go ahead and place down another redstone repeater with the notches spread apart like so. We're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves a stone cutter and also some dark oak wood fence gates. We're going to place down stone cutters facing this direction like so on both sides, and then coming off the side here of the stone cutters, we're going to be going and placing down dark oak wood fence gates and have them opened up to the sides like so for some anti-aircraft guns. After that, coming off this trap or this repeater right here, we're going to place down another dark oak wood fence gate, and on top of it, we're going to place down an iron trap door. After we have that done, we're going to then place down a gray carpet to both sides like so. We're going to then take a stone brick stair. We're going to go and skip 2 spaces back, place down a stone brick stair, followed by a corner stair to both sides like so. At this point here, we're going to then take end rods and place down 2 end rods coming off the faces here of the stone brick stairs like so. If you are on Java, we can go ahead and do an additional feature, which will be placing down item frames on top of those stone blocks. If you're on Bedrock, you'll not be able to do this feature, but if you're on Java, it's a nice way to add a little bit more detail in right here and try to keep that gray, darker gray deck color a little bit more consistent. And we're just going to be placing down some gray stained glass, these should actually be gray stained glass panes. But we're just going to place down gray stained glass panes in those item frames like so, to kind of keep a little more gray color consistency to the deck. After that, we're going to then take our stone blocks. We're going to place down a row of 3 across after those stairs there. And then going back up to the front, we're going to place down a tripwire hook and place it down on both sides of those stone blocks. We then want to place down another stone block in the center here, followed by a stone upside down stair, like so. And we're going to then take our andesite walls, and we're just going to place down 1, 2, and 1, 2 andesite walls to both sides. At this point here, we're going to go and grab skeleton skulls again. So up here in the front, and we're just going to place down a skeleton skull on both sides of these andesite walls here. Underneath those andesite walls, again, if you're on Java, we can place down our item frames with our gray stained glass paints in those item frames, and also grabbing gray carpet, we can put down some gray carpet on top of these andesite walls here to both sides. At this point, we want to go then place down a stone brick slab here in the center, and then a stone full block going back from it. To the sides of the stone full block, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane to both sides. And we then want to place down a skeleton skull here at a slight angle on top of these stone blocks, just like that. After that, we're going to continue this angle by placing down a skeleton skull on top of those glass panes to the sides here, like so, trying to maintain that same angle as the previous skeleton skull, like that. At this point, we then want to go and then place down a skeleton skull here on top of this glass pane, and same thing over here to this side as well. We're going to go and then take our stone blocks in the middle here, place down a row of 3 of stone blocks, and we're also going to go and take our levers, and we're going to place down 1 and 2 levers right here in this section, right next to those skeleton skulls. Now, once we get to this point, we want to go and then place down a another row of 3 of stone full blocks, so 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a light gray stained glass pane to both sides. So just like this. And then we're going to then take our stone blocks and place down a row of 5 going all the way across. One thing we can also do is, if you are on Java, we can go ahead and place down a lever on top of this wall here. To do this, we're going to go ahead and place down a block right here, which we'll delete later, and we're going to go and use the give command to go ahead and give ourselves a debug stick. Using the debug stick and placing a lever on the side of this block, we can go ahead and select the properties of this stick, have it so that it is face to the floor, and we can go and then rotate it by selecting selected facing and rotate it to basically where it sticks out to the side there. And we can go and just very simply do the same thing over here on this side. So again, we'll have it face the floor, and we'll have it rotated so it's facing west. So just like that, and we have our guns like that set up and good to go. And after that, right here, we're going to place down a gray carpet on both sides. After that, we're going to go and place down another gray carpet going back on both sides, followed by another row of 5 of stone full blocks across. And we're just going to go ahead and kind of maintain this row of 5 of stone blocks by placing down another one going across, this time followed by a skeleton skull to both sides. Underneath the skeleton skull, again, if you're on Java, we can place down an item frame and a gray stained glass pane in the item frame, like so. Actually, this should be a darker gray, or just the normal gray, not the light gray. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down another row of 5 of stone full blocks across, and then at this point here, we're going to go ahead and place down a gray carpet on both sides. We're going to go ahead and then place down 2 rows of 5 of stone blocks across, followed by 2 stone brick top slabs to both ends. We're going to go then place down our item frames underneath here, and our gray stained glass panes, again, if applicable. We then want to place down another row of 5 of stone full blocks across, gray carpet to both sides, followed by another row of 5 of stone full blocks across, a light gray stained glass pane to both ends. This time a row of 7 of stone full blocks across, then a row of 5 of a glass pane on both sides, another row of 5 of stone full blocks across, a gray carpet to both ends. We then want to place down a total of 5 rows of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at this point here, we're going to take stone brick top slabs, the first 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, stone brick top slabs on the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then grabbing a stone brick stair, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair like this, coming off the last row of 5 with the back of the stair facing toward the rear of the ship. Underneath these top slabs, again, same thing that we've been doing here. We can go ahead and do this technique of putting the item frames underneath there and the gray item frame, or the gray panes inside those item frames, like so. So just like that. After that's done, we're going to then take our stone blocks. We're going to do a row of 7 across again. And then we're going to then do a row of 5 across, followed by a light gray stainless pane to both sides. So like so. We're going to go then do a row of 5 of stone blocks again, this time with a gray carpet to both sides. We're going to go then do a row of 3 of stone blocks across, this time with a andesite wall on both ends, like that. We're going to go do another row of 3 with a light gray stainless pane on both ends. Meanwhile, on the sides here, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 gray carpets on top of those stone blocks, and we can also place down a gray carpet there on top of that first andesite wall right there. This point here, we're going to place down another stone block in the center, followed by a light gray stainless pane to both sides, like so. At this point, we're going to go ahead and also place down a redstone, or not a redstone, but actually, sorry, it's going to be next step. But coming off this stone block here, we're going to place down an andesite wall, and we want to go and then place down a stone cutter on top of these stone blocks here to both sides. And we're going to have a dark oak fence gate coming off the side of the stone cutter facing out to the sides of the ship. On this stone block here, right in front of the stone cutter, we're also going to place down a gray carpet to both sides. At this point here, coming off this andesite wall, we're going to go and place down a upside down stone stair. We're going to then place down an andesite wall to both sides of that stone stair, followed by a stone full block in the center, andesite wall to both sides, and then a row of 3 of stone full blocks across. On the sides of that row of 3, we're going to go and place down a tripwire hook to both sides, and we also want to go and place down a gray carpet on both sections here, and then a skeleton skull on both sides of those walls like that. On the very back here, we're going to take our stone brick stairs. We're going to place down stone brick stair here, 1 stair to both sides like that as corner stairs, and then grab an end rods. We're going to go and place down a row of 2 of end rods coming off each one of these stairs, like so. And then right there is going to be turret number 3. Now, one thing I also want to go ahead and mention is on the side here of this wall, we can go ahead and place down an item frame if you're on Java, and in that item frame we can go ahead and place down a white bed like this for little life rafts mounted to the sides of the turret. In addition, we can go ahead and do the same technique we used earlier on the sides here for some anti-aircraft guns mounted to the sides of the ship. So we're just going to very simply use our same technique here with our levers and our debug stick, and we're just going to place down 2 levers in this location here. They're going to be sitting on top of these first light gray stainless panes after those andesite walls. And we just want to go in again, select the face to the floor, and these ones will line up already facing out to the outside. And over here, same thing, we're going to go and select the face to the floor, and they will also sit like that out to the sides there. So just like that, there we have our anti-aircraft guns put in those positions there. Now at this point, we can go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater, which is going to be next to this stair, this corner stair on both sides. And then going back from it, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 gray carpet, and 1, 2, and 3 gray carpet. The very center here, we're going to place down a redstone repeater, and then a second one like that going back. We then want to go ahead and grab a stone button, and we're going to place down stone buttons on these 2 gray wool blocks on both sides of that repeater, followed by a gray carpet on both sides of this repeater here. Continuing on, we're going to then place down a stone button here in the center, and then a skeleton skull on top of those 2 stone blocks there. We're going to go then take our gray carpet. We're just going to place down a row of 3 across, followed by a gray carpet to both sides, and then another skeleton skull there in the center. At this point here, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair on top of this block here, followed by an andesite wall to both sides of it. We then want to go ahead and grab a fence gate. We're going to place down a dark oak fence gate right here. And just so we don't have to worry about it later, we're going to go and just place down a end rod on top of this fence gate here. And we're going to then place down a iron bar on top of it like that, just to go and finish it off on the back here. And then also grabbing our stone cutters, we're going to place down a stone cutter like this on the back here on both sides. And then we're going to have the fence gates coming off those stone cutters facing toward the rear of the ship, just like that. And after we have that done, we then want to go and grab ourselves some redstone repeaters and slabs. We're going to go and place down 2 daylight detectors here, turn those to night mode, stone brick slab, and again 2 daylight detectors back, turn to night mode. Again, those are going to be our catapults there for our seaplanes here mounted on the rear of the ship. So same thing there on both sides. And also in the front, just so we don't have to worry about it later, we're going to place down a end rod on top there, and then a iron bar on top of that end rod, just like that for the kind of forward little mast there. And with that all complete there, just double checking my work, making sure I didn't miss anything, and everything does appear to be good for this section of the build. As you can see, layer 5 is pretty much complete, and you have a good kind of basic general idea of how our superstructure and all that stuff is going to sit on the ship. As I mentioned, this is going to be probably our longest layer, so the layers from here on out should be a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. But anyways, that right there is going to conclude layer number 5 of the build, and with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer number 6. Alright guys, moved into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to the top of turret number 1 up here, and we're going to place down a redstone up here with a notch spread apart on top of that stone block right there. We're going to then go back to this stone block here. We're going to place down a stone brick stair, stone brick corner stair to both sides of that stair, and then coming off the front here of those stairs, we're going to place down 2 end rods going forward like that on across those stairs. After that, we want to go then place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks across, followed by a tripwire hook to both sides, and we're going to then place down a stone block in the center, and a set wall to both sides, and then a stone upside down stair right here, with again an andesite wall to both sides like so. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame. We're going to place down an item frame on the side here of this wall on both sides, and a white bed in those item frames. And we want to go then place down a skeleton skull here on the sides of these walls, just like that. After that's all done, we then want to go ahead and place down a andesite wall here in the center. And we're going to then place down a redstone repeater, like this, to both sides. One thing also I would recommend doing is replacing this gray wool, or this stone block underneath this wall here, and underneath the stair with gray wool. Also underneath these 2 walls here, to kind of show a little bit of the deck coloring on the kind of upper deck here that we have for the ship. At this point here, we're going to then place down an item frame to both sides, and in that item frame, we're going to place down a white bed, like that. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone block here in the center, and a side wall to both sides. And after we have that done, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves stone cutters again, and we're going to place down a stone cutter here, and on the other side here, with fence gates coming off those stone cutters opened up toward them like this on both sides. Once we have that all done, we're going to then place down a stone block here in the center, and going back from it, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane to both sides. We're going to then follow this up by placing down a item frame like so, and then a white bed in the item frame, same thing over here on this side as well, just like that. Once we have that done, we're going to also place down a skeleton skull coming off the side of these light gray stained glass panes, and then a row of 3 of stone full blocks across, like so. We then want to place down a second row of 3 across like that, and we're going to then place down a row of 2 of light gray stained glass panes there along the sides there. And then grab ourselves some levers. We're just going to place down levers here coming off these stone brick top slabs, or I should say on top of them, like so. After we have that done, taking our stone blocks, we're just going to go ahead and place down an additional row of 3 across, followed by a second row of 3, and then a third row. And along the sides here, we're just going to place down 3 light gray stained glass panes going back. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair on top of this stone block here. We're going to go ahead and also grab a dark oak wood sign and also some fence gates. We're going to place down a dark oak wood sign and a dark oak wood fence gate coming off the stair facing forward, and same thing over here on this side. Like so. After that, we want to go then place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks across again, and a second row of 3 like that, again with our light gray stained glass panes on the sides there. After we get to this point, we're going to place down another row of 3 of stone full blocks across, followed by an andesite wall to both ends, and then we're going to place down a row of 5 of stone full blocks, and then a row of 3, like so, and then a stone wall on both sides of that row of 3. We then want to place down another set of 2 rows of 3 going across here, and we're going to go then place down 2 stone brick upside down stairs like that to the side there. We also want to grab levers, and on the tops of these stone brick upside down stairs and top slabs, we're going to go ahead and just very simply place down levers along the side there, so we should have a total of 5. We're going to then place down a stone brick stair on top of those 2 stone full blocks here. Dark oak wood fence gates coming off those stairs like that, facing toward the rear. And dark oak wood signs on the sides of the stairs, just like that. After that's all done there, we want to take our gray carpets to begin with. We're going to place down a gray carpet on both sides here. Row of 3 of stone across the center. Another row of 3 of stone across. And this time a row of 5 of stone across. Followed by a lever coming off this stone block here, facing downwards, and a lever over here, facing downwards as well, coming off those stone full blocks. We're going to then place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks across this section here, followed by a second row of 3, a stone block in the center with a stone brick upside down stair to both sides, and then a stone block on top of this andesite wall here with a skeleton skull on both sides of that stone block like so. After that, we're going to then place down a stone cutter on top of this stone upside down stair here, and a dark oak wood fence gate coming off that stone cutter facing toward the rear. And then lastly, a skeleton skull on top of this stone block right there. And that right there is going to kind of complete the superstructure section. At this point, moving to the back, we're going to go ahead and go to our crane. We're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick wall, which will be going up from this stair right here. And we then want to go ahead and grab a chain, and we're going to place down a chain going up from this stone button there. And just so we don't have to keep coming back to the crane, we might as well just go ahead and finish it off, as it's pretty straightforward and simple to do from here on out. But going up from the stone brick wall, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone brick slab that kind of comes off of it going forward at an angle like so. We're going to drop a lever on the bottom and basically activate the lever so it faces toward the stone brick wall. And then going from this stone brick slab, we're going to place down a top slab, a chain on top of this chain here, and then another stone brick slab on top of that chain, just like that, to go ahead and make our rear crane. And that's really all it is to it. So pretty straightforward stuff there. Anyways, that right there is going to complete what we have there for layer 6. Looking at it from the top-down view, this is what it should look like from up above. And trying to give you guys a little bit of a side profile here. This is what the layer looks like with it all complete. We have turrets 1, 2, and 3 all in. And basically, from here on out, we're going to be working into our conning tower sections and just various anti-aircraft gun and secondary batteries. So with that, let's go ahead and continue working on our superstructure. Moving on to layer number 7. Alright guys, moved into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to begin with by placing down a stone block, which is going to go on top of this andesite wall here. To both sides of that stone block, we're going to go and place down an iron trapdoor. And using a debug stick, we're going to go ahead and close the trapdoors by selecting the selected open, false, and we're going to go and set that to open to true. And that right there will close those 2 trapdoors. If you do not have access to a debug stick, very simply, you can just go ahead and place down birchwood trapdoors or dark oak wood, whichever you prefer. And then come off the stone side facing toward the front, we're going to place down a skeleton skull. After that, we're going to then place down a redstone repeater on top of the stone block, separate the notches like so. And after that, we're going to then place down a stone block here, followed by a iron trapdoor to both sides like that. And we're going to then place down an item frame with a snowball in the item frame for a spotlight, or spotlights here on the side of the bridge there. We're going to place down another stone block here, and this is going to be followed up with a light gray stainless pane to the sides. We're going to then place down 1 and 2 more stone blocks down the center, this time with 2 inside walls to both sides. We then want to place down a stone brick stair on top of this glass pane here. Fence gate coming off the side of it, open toward the stair, and a dark oak wood sign on the side of the stair like that. Same thing over here again for our secondary batteries. After that, we're going to then take our stone blocks. We're going to place down a stone block here in the center, and then a fence gate like this to both sides. We're going to then place down another set of 2 stone full blocks going back, stone brick stair on both sides of the second one, and a dark oak wood sign here on the sides. We also want to place down a gray carpet on top of this stone block right there. We're going to go then place down a stone block here in the center, and then grabbing a stone brick wall, we're going to place down a stone brick wall to both sides like so, and then a skeleton skull coming off the stone brick wall to both sides like that. After that, another stone block here in the center, stone brick top slab to both sides like so, and then at this point, we're going to grab our daylight detectors, have these turned to night mode, and we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and turn them to the night mode like so. We then want to go ahead and grab our stone brick stairs, our fence gates, and our signs. We're going to be placing down a stone brick stair on top of this stone block here. Fence gate coming off of it facing forward, dark oak wood sign on the outer side, and same thing over here. And then after we have that done, we're going to take our gray carpet. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 on the inside there, like so. We then want to go ahead and place down a andesite wall to both sides, followed by 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks going back, and then 1, 2, and 3, like so. And on the inside here, we're just going to take our stone full blocks and place down 1, 2, right there, filling that space in. On top of these 2 stone brick ups downstairs, we're going to place down 2 levers to both sides like so. And then coming back to this section here on top of these stone blocks, we're going to place down a stone brick stair, fence gate coming off those stairs like so, and then a dark oak wood sign here on the side of those stairs just like that for the secondaries. And we're going to then grab our daylight detectors here, and again place down 2 daylight detectors, turn those to night mode, followed by item frames and white beds in those item frames on the stone blocks to the sides here. At this point, we're going to then place down a stone block here, and then a stone cutter to the sides, like that, and then a dark oak wood fence gate, which will be coming off the sides there of those stone cutters, like so. We then want to place down a light gray stainless pane here in the center, and then a lever to both sides, like that, followed by a stone brick stair here in the center. And then we're going to go and grab our end rods and just place down an end rod here to both sides of that stair like that. If you do have access to the debug stick, you can go ahead and change the direction of this, or basically get rid of the one direction so that the glass pane is not connecting to the stair. You'd have to kind of mess with it to change the direction it goes into. So we have north for me is going to be set to false, and that will not connect up to the stair. So this is a little thing you can do to kind of make that look a little bit better there on the back section. Anyways, though, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for layer 7. As you can see, the layers are starting to get a little bit more simpler, but here's what it should look like from the top-down view. And also a little bit at an angle here. And that right there will conclude layer number 7. With that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 8. And moving into our next layer, we have layer 8. For layer 8, to go ahead and get started with here, we'll be going ahead and placing down a iron trap door, which will go on top of this stone block here where our conning tower is. We're going to then place down a dark oak wood sign coming off the front section here, followed by a skeleton skull coming off both sides like that. After that's done, we're going to then place down a light gray shulker box, like so. Iron trapdoor to both sides of the shulker box, and then a dark oak wood sign coming off the sides there of those iron trapdoors. We then want to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood fence gate right here after that shulker box opened up toward the rear. And then coming off the sides of that, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a narrow brick fence post to both sides like so, with a dark oak wood sign on the sides of those fence posts. And just so we don't have to worry about it later, from those fence posts, we're going to go ahead and go up with 3 iron bars like so for some antennas on both sides. And also on top of these skeleton skulls, we're going to go ahead and place down 3 iron bars up like that for those antennas. So just a way to knock those out so we don't have to worry about them later. We're going to go then place down another shulker box right here after that fence gate there, followed by an iron trapdoor to both sides, and again a dark oak wood sign on the side of that iron trapdoor. And then after that, we want to go and then place down a gray carpet in the center, iron trapdoor again to both sides, and a dark oak wood sign coming off the side there of these iron trapdoors. After that, we're going to go then place down a stone block here, and we're going to go then place down a stone cutter to both sides, and then a dark oak wood fence gate coming off the side of the stone cutter like that, facing toward the sides. We then want to place down a stone block here, and coming off that stone block, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a skeleton skull to both sides, and we're going to then place down another stone block going back, another iron trapdoor to both sides, again with a dark oak wood sign on the sides here. Then after that, we want to go and then place down a stone block here in the center, and then a light gray shulker box to both sides on top of those walls, followed by another stone block in the center, iron trapdoor to both sides, and we're going to very simply grab our item frame and our snowball. We're going to place an item frame on the side here and a snowball in the item frame like that on both sides there. And then after that, we want to go in very simply, just place down an iron trapdoor here coming off this block, and again using our debug stick here, we're going to go into open to true to close it like so. both sides of the iron trapdoor, we're going to place down a skeleton skull, and then just a dark oak wood sign coming off of like this, to go ahead and make that on the back there. Actually, this trapdoor should sit flat like that, so just go ahead and make sure it sits flat like that, and that's how it actually should look like there on the back. Anyways, at this point, going to this section here, we're going to then place down an iron trapdoor on top of these two walls. We're going to take dark oak wood signs and wrap them around these iron trapdoors. So just like this to both sides. And then after that, we want to go and then place down a stone cutter on top of those two blocks there. And then a dark oak wood fence gate coming off the stone cutters to the outsides. And we're going to then place down a row of 2 of stone full blocks. 1, 2 right here in this section. A stone brick slab, or sorry, actually a stone brick full block to both sides here. Dark oak wood fence gates coming off those. And then another stone cutter to both sides here. And another set of dark oak wood fence gates to both sides. We're also going to take dark oak wood signs and just place on the sides here of these stone cutters, like so. After that, we want to go then place down a stone block here, and we're going to then take our skeleton skulls and wrap them around these 3 sides of that stone full block. And then we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate on top of this stair here, open it toward the back, and coming off that fence gate, we're going to go and place down a oak wood trapdoor and have it close like that on the back there. And with that all complete, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 7 for the build. Actually, sorry, I believe that's actually layer number 8. But yeah, looking at it from above here, this we should have from the top-down view. And from the side view, this is what we have so far. So as you can see, getting close to getting into the conning towers and really finish this thing off. But anyways, that right there is it for layer 8. Let's move on to layer number 9. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 9. For layer 9, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to be going ahead and going to the top section up here. We're going to start off with placing a stone brick stair on top of this shulker box here, followed by an end rod coming off both sides of the stone brick stair like that. We then want to place down an iron trap door that goes forward from it on top of that fence gate. And we're going to then grab ourselves an item frame, place an item frame coming off that block, and then a snowball in the item frame like so. At this point here, we're going to then place down a iron trapdoor on top of these two stone cutters, and just like we did before, we're going to grab some item frames, place down item frames to the side here, and a snowball in the item frame like that for some spotlights. And in the center here, we're just going to place down a redstone repeater with the notches spread apart like so. We're going to then take our stone full blocks, go back 1, 2, 3, 4. On top of this shulker box here, we're going to place down a stone brick stair, and then a end rod to both sides of the stair. Same thing over here, stone brick stair, end rods to both sides, just like that. On the very back here, on top of this iron trapdoor, we're just going to place down a stone brick stair like this, and then a end rod coming off like that. This trapdoor will open up. If that's the case, then you can go ahead and use the debug stick to make sure you set it to open to false so it stays closed. However, if you have problems with it and you don't have a debug stick, you can go ahead and use a virtual trapdoor, dark oak wood, or just let the trapdoor close up against there. It's not really that big of a deal. Continuing on, we're going to go then place down 2 stone blocks on top of here, followed by a skeleton skull on both sides of this first one here. And we then want to go ahead and place down a lever on the back of this stone block here, followed by a stone brick stair on top of this block like so, with a fence gate coming off both sides of the stair, and then a skeleton skull coming off both sides of those fence gates. And just to go ahead and complete this off on the back here, we're just going to very simply place down an iron trapdoor on top of this stone brick stair. And with that all complete there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 9. Looking at it from above here, this is what it should look like from the top down view. And from the side there, that's what we have for this layer. Anyways, again, that's it for layer number 9. And with that, let's go ahead and move into layer number 10. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 10. For layer 10, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go to the top of this stone brick stair. We're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate, open it toward the front, and coming off that fence gate, we're going to place down an oak wood trapdoor and close like so. At this point here, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on top of this redstone repeater with a dark oak wood sign coming off the side there. And after that, we want to go and then place down a skeleton skull coming off both sides here of these iron trapdoors like that. We then want to place down 1 and it's going to be 1 and 2 stone blocks back. Or sorry, 1 stone block and then an andesite wall, and then 1 and 2 skeleton skulls and 1 and 2 on the sides there. We're going to then place down a polished black stone stair right here. And then going back from that, we want to go and grab some black concrete, and we're going to place down a black concrete block like that. On the sides here, we're going to place down a dark oak fence gate on top of these stairs, open them toward the outsides. And then come off the side there of those, we're going to be going ahead and place down oak wood trapdoors and have them closed like so. Same thing over here on this side as well. And on top of this black concrete block, we're just going to place down an item frame and an iron bar in the item frame like that. Then we have a skeleton skull that comes off this black concrete block, and also a iron bar that goes on top of this end rod right here. Continuing to work our way back, we're going to place down a polished black stone stair here, followed by a black concrete block, item frame on top of the black concrete, and a iron bar in the item frame like so. We then want to go and very simply place down a iron trapdoor to both sides of the stair, so just like that. Item frames coming off those iron trapdoors, and then we're going to place down snowballs in those item frames like that. And then we want to go and place down dark oak signs on the sides here of these iron trapdoors. Same thing over here. Just like that. And after that's all done there, we're going to go and place down another dark oak fence gate here, opened up toward the black concrete block. And then taking our end rods, we're just going to go ahead and build out 2 end rods. 1, 2, and 1, 2 to both sides like so. And with that all out of the way, that right there is going to basically conclude layer number 10 for the build. From this point on, we're just going to go ahead and move into our final layers and basically wrap up the build by building everything we have left, for the conning towers and the rear mast and all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and now move into our final layers of the build, and we'll go ahead and finish this build off. Alright guys, moving into our final layers, we have layers 11 through 17. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to be going ahead and going to our conning tower section here. And we're going to go ahead and begin with by placing down a stone block on top of this one, and then a andesite wall that goes back like so. We're going to place down a dark oak fence gate coming off the 3 sides here of this stone block. Then out to the sides, we're going to place down an end rod, and we're going to then follow this up by placing down a skeleton skull on the very ends of those end rods. Once we have that done, we want to go and then grab iron trapdoors. In the corners here of these dark oak fence gates, we're going to be placing down iron trapdoors. And we also want to place down an iron trapdoor going back from this andesite wall. We're going to then place down a light gray shulker box up on top here. Then grabbing some levers, we're going to place down levers here on top of those iron trapdoors, and then an iron trapdoor there in the center. We're going to grab some barrier blocks. We're going to place down a barrier block, which will be on top of this fence gate here. Stone buns on both sides. And then a barrier block coming off this iron trapdoor. Stone buns on both sides. And an air barrier block on top of this trapdoor. Again, stone buns on both sides. On the very top there of that shulker box, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair. To the sides of the stone brick stair, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a dark oak fence gate. And then a skeleton skull coming off the ends of those fence gates. And then on the very top there of that stair, we're going to go ahead and place down an iron trapdoor. Now going back here, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on top of that wall right there. We then want to place down a skeleton skull on both sides of that iron trapdoor. And we're going to then place down an end rod that comes off the sides there of those skeletons, or the fronts there of the skeleton skulls. And then going up from the skeleton skulls themselves, we're going to go ahead and place down a iron bar like that to both sides. We then want to go ahead and place down a andesite wall on top of this iron trapdoor, and we're going to then place down a dark oak sign on the sides here, like so. And after that, we're going to then place down another andesite wall up like so. Iron trapdoor here in the center, and then another andesite wall up like that. A polished black stone stair on the very top of that andesite wall there, and then an item frame with a iron bar in it, just like that for the very top there. Then from behind this, we're going to go off this andesite wall with a fence gate, have it opened up toward the wall. We're going to then place down a end rod up, then a stone brick stair on top of the end rod, a skeleton skull coming off the front there of the stair, and then we're going to very simply place down a end rod on top of the stair, and then an iron bar. And then at this point here, we're also going to go and grab a stone pressure plate, and we're just going to place down a stone pressure plate on top of that and the side wall there. Once we have that all done, we can go ahead and use some rolled edit, or not really rolled edit, but just some debug stick action here. Place down a lever here, and we can go and then just rotate it around so it's coming off that wall right there. And then also going ahead and grabbing ourselves another debug stick. We can place down a debug stick coming off this end rod. And on the bottom here of it, we can go ahead and place down a lever, like so. So it looks like those levers kind of go ahead and go across and connect. Now, after we have that done there, we want to go ahead and then place down a end rod on top of this skeleton skull here, and then a iron bar up from this one right there. Actually, sorry, it's going to be 2 iron bars up from that one like that. Then moving back here to our rear mast. For our rear mast here, we're going to place down a nether brick fence post on top of this fence gate. Another nether brick fence post up, and then at this point we're going to then place down a end rod to both sides. We're going to follow it up by placing down a stone brick wall on top here, followed by a polished black stone stair with the back of the stair facing toward the rear of the ship, item frame, and iron bars in that item frame like that. At this point here, we're going to go and take our barrier blocks. We're going to go ahead and do a line of barrier blocks from this lever all the way back to the stone brick wall. So just like this. And then taking our stone buttons, we're going to place down stone buttons on both sides of that row of barrier blocks. Just like that. And then our next row here is going to go from this end rod right here. We're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 barrier blocks. And then back from this end rod right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're just going to take stone buttons, place them on the sides here of those blocks like that. And same thing over here. Like so. And after we have that done there, we're going to then place down a barrier block, which will be coming off the nether brick fence post here. Stone buttons on both sides. And we're also going to place down a lever on top of it. We're going to go then place down a barrier block that goes down from it. That's going to have a stone button like this coming off the side of that barrier block facing toward the rear. And then it's going to also have a lever on the bottom of it, which will be flicked back like that. Looks like it connects up to this lever here. And then lastly, we're going to go and grab another barrier block. And coming off this lever, we're going to place down a barrier block. And we're going to then place down a banner like that, designed to be like the American flag. Basically a red banner with the white stripes going through it vertically, and then one of the top corners just a little blue patch like that to go ahead and make our American flag there for the back of the ship. And with that all complete there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have here for the USS Iowa in its 1945 configuration. Anyways, guys, hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This will be the link from a sign of the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear on any social media sites. Obviously, this is a pretty big build, took a lot of time to make and all that stuff, so I do really ask that if you do use it, that you do give me credit for it. And that, you guys are free to use it for projects that you guys are working on, all that stuff, as long as credit is given. Hope you guys do enjoy the build and have fun with it. Again, thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Gary254, and I'll see you guys next time.